Hey everyone, it's Chris with Eight Bells and all is well. Doing a little bit of a twofer here on Monday. It's because it's a very special day today, but I promise there's an Omega and Watch tie-in. So for those of you who might be unaware, today is the Navy's 250th birthday, and I'm happy to call myself a U.S. Navy veteran. Served, many years ago for a few years, and I loved and hated every minute of it. It was definitely a character building experience for me. But I wanted to wish the Navy a happy birthday and to all those who served and are currently serving both domestically and abroad. Hopefully, despite the government shutdown, they're doing something very special. Usually on the Navy's birthday, you get a special meal, no matter where you're at. So whether you're at sea or in a port or on land, you usually get some sort of special meal and celebration with the Navy's birthday. And this one being the 250th, I would hope that it would be something very spectacular. But like I promised, I told you it'd be Watch and Omega related. So it gives me an opportunity because there was a ton of social media posts, a ton of people congratulating, saying happy birthday to the U.S. Navy. There was one that caught my eye, and I think it's pertinent to us here at Watch Talk. It was the message posted by the one and only Johnny Kim. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Johnny Kim, he's an LA native, homegrown here in LA. He's a U.S. sailor, Navy SEAL, became a medical doctor, and now is currently a U.S. astronaut serving in the International Space Station. In his message, he talks about a little bit of the history, the lore of the Navy, its current mission, all the good stuff, happy birthday, all that kind of fun stuff. But I really wanted to talk right there about what's on his wrist. I got a little close up of it right there. That's, clear as day. You can tell just on the bracelet, really, what watch that is. And of course, it's Omega Seamaster, but it's not just any Omega Seamaster. It's the Omega Seamaster unit watch. And there's a couple of variations of unit watches. This is the one that I've seen commonly for Navy, which is like this charcoal gray dial with some people call it Fotina, but it's more of a creamy uh, white or eggshell white maybe than it is a Fotina. Fotina would be a little bit more yellow. This is a little bit more pale white, and it also comes with that pale white same logo, Omega logo, and the wording on the bottom right there. That carries on the bezel and the numbering in the bezel, and then the indices and on the hands as well. Now, the one only person I know who owns this watch or owns a version of this watch has told me two different things. Or I've heard two different things. One is that even though that you might think this is a black dial, it is not. It's like a charcoal gray dial, dark gray, and it has black. The black lines are painted in black. So now I read somewhere else that that's not the case, but the person I know who has one has said that that's true. Now, these are very special watches. You rarely, if ever, see them come up for sale in the secondary market. People that get these have them. You probably saw, Secret Service has one, a version that's a white dial one. And what really sets them apart is not only the coloring of this particular watch is the coloring of the indices and the dial, but also usually on the case back there's an engraving of the which unit this belongs to. But could you imagine? It's pretty cool that not is this guy's not using that watch or not using a moon watch, sorry, on the International Space Station, but using his Omega unit watch. Now, if you Google Johnny Kim, you see there's many of articles that have been written about the watches that he wears. He's got Rolexes and other watches that he has in his arsenal of watches. But the most I've seen him wear, or the pictures that I've seen him wear, are of this unit watch, and that's because it's very special. Not to say like a Rolex GMT isn't special, but it's probably not any different than other Rolex GMTs, where this one you cannot buy that color combination from Omega. And believe me, I've tried, because even being a veteran, I've gone to Omega several times and I've been like read to everybody, and they said nope, you can only get those from the unit that actually goes to Omega or has a relationship with Omega. So you can get that watch. That's how they limit the population. So that's why you rarely see these watches out in the wild. Here's another good shot of it. Clear as day. The tank track bracelet, all the similar features, the insides, the technical specs are all the same. It's just really the aesthetics of this particular watch. So I thought on the Navy's birthday, I thought I'd give this not only my shipmate there, Johnny Kim, a plug, because he's obviously again he's a badass individual, but also to talk about the watch that he's wearing in that particular message. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Instagram on the U.S. Navy page. And if, for all those who are currently serving or may have served in the Navy and other branches, happy birthday, U.S. Navy. Thank you for your service. For everybody else, and I will talk to you again soon.